Hey everyone, it's Denise Brown from the Caregiving Years Training Academy. I have been sharing questions to ask yourself before you start your small business to serve family caregivers. And let's just do a quick recap of the first two questions. You know what? Actually, let's just remind ourselves of what we're talking about. And it's this idea that you want to make an impact, which is to inspire change. And the question that I've been asking you is, so how do you want to do this? And so I think that there's three questions to ask yourself to figure this out. And the first one is, what will you change? The second is, how will you deliver the change? And the third is, who can help you? When we start a small business, I think we're going to do this and it's mine. I can do this on my own. And I equate that to our caregiving experience, where it's so hard to do it on your own. And I would encourage you to think about who can help you with a small business because it's really hard to do it on your own. And I would also encourage you to think about a couple areas where you could really seek out help that can make a huge difference for you. And the first one is market research. Do some research into what's already out in the marketplace, what family caregivers are using, and what they're not using. Look to read research and then consider who are the thought leaders in the space that you want to follow on social media. What are the insights they're sharing that can be helpful for you? You also want to think about who can you receive help from. I do this a couple different ways. I attend conferences. I really was able to do this after caregiving ended in 2023 when my dad died. Before that, when I was actively caregiving, I did what I could virtually. I always felt the priority must be my ongoing learning. The conferences were within the 17 caregiving systems, for instance. So I would go to, or I have been going to home health conferences. I've been going to hospice conferences. I've been going to digital healthcare conferences. Oh my gosh, I've been going to employee benefit conferences. Anywhere that I think a family caregiver interacts within a system, I go to a conference about that system. I want to amass a knowledge base about the family caregiving experience from the system perspective. What's it like to try to hire help through a home care agency these days when we have this terrible direct care workforce shortage? What is the landscape of the healthcare space these days? When I understand the inside of the systems, I can better support a family caregiver interacting with those systems. You might look to conferences in your community that focus in on supporting family caregivers. For instance, your local area agency on aging might host an annual conference about and for family caregivers. That would be a great conference to go to. You can network with attendees and you can actually get an idea of who are the other service providers in your community. And then you'll also gain insights into how did those service providers network? Perhaps there's an annual or a monthly meeting that they attend. You'd want to go to that too. Online communities are also really helpful. And you could join a variety of online communities. You could join a community for small businesses. You could join a community of former family caregivers who are figuring out next steps. You could join a community for current family caregivers so you have an idea of the pulse of the caregiving experience. It's so helpful. I want to go back to market research just for a minute. Market research also includes engaging in conversation with family caregivers as often as you can. For me, for decades, that was daily. And it was the best thing I did for my business. You'd want to do that too. You don't want to have too much space between what you know about caregiving and what the current caregiving experience is like. You want to keep your pulse on it. You could also look to small business resources in your community. For instance, the Small Business Administration has lots of workshops and resources that can be really helpful. You could also look to an organization called SCORE, which is funded through the Small Business Administration. It's Service Corps of Retired Executives. They also have workshops and events, and they offer free coaching with a retired executive to help you start your business. You want to get as much help and support as you can. And I also think you want to look to your own knowledge base. And that's why I developed the Certified Caregiving Consultant training. It's a training that gives you insights about the caregiving experience. You bring your lived experience about what it was like for you, and then I add in concepts and market research to help you understand the themes around a caregiving experience. It's really helpful that you have caregiving experience, and then you want to layer in your knowledge of that experience. It's a very unique training because we focus just on understanding the family caregiving experience. And that's why it's so helpful. So when you start to feel like, I don't know what family caregivers want, we tell you, we help you figure it out. The training includes 9 modules. It's self-paced. And then you join me for 8 hours of live training. And with me, you practice what you've learned. However, you've been practicing delivering sessions, offering group coaching, and delivering workshops throughout the program. I have added in activities that are required for you for certification that get you out talking about and doing the work of your business. And it starts in module 4. When I first developed this program, I thought if I tell program grads what to do next, they'll do it. And then I realized, oh my gosh, they haven't conquered their fear of doing it, which is why they're not doing it after the end of the program, which is why I added it in to the program. It's why you have to practice delivering one-on-one sessions, group coaching sessions, and planning sessions during the training. I want you to get out there and talk about what you do and start practicing. So at the end of the program, you are ready to go. In addition, you receive a workshop that you can deliver as a marketing tool, and it's the 6 Caregiving Stages workshop. The program gives you a deep dive into this concept so that when you're delivering a workshop, you have insights about it that, whoa, just light bulbs all over your audience. That's what you want. When you're delivering a workshop to family caregivers, you want their light bulb to go off so that they hear insights that help them understand what the experience is like for them. And the 6 Caregiving Stages workshop does that. This is a workshop that I developed in 1999 based on a concept I developed initially in 1997. And I want to tell you that it has evolved. I have committed to really improving this concept and this workshop over the years. I regularly deliver it, so I hear feedback. I also want to mention too something that I think is so important about this training program. Any tool, any planning session, any insights about working with a family caregiver have been tested by me. I haven't introduced anything in the course for you to use without testing it first. And on a regular basis, I connect with researchers who are using tools with family caregivers that they've tested within a system to make sure it works for the system, but they've never tested it with a family caregiver. And that makes me crazy. It makes me crazy because they are putting family caregivers through an uncomfortable, an awkward, or an awful experience. And I want family caregivers to connect with you as a consultant with tools that empower them, encourage them, comfort them. An experience with a tool is very important, which is why I test it before I add it into the program. We include planning sessions that you learn how to deliver. And that's important because these planning sessions become programs you can offer immediately after you graduate. You practice them during, and then you can offer them as a paid service afterward. We also include training on how to help a family caregiver manage conflict and dispute. We know that that is ever present in a caregiving experience. We don't put ourselves in the middle of it as a mediator. We just really help that family caregiver figure out, how am I going to manage the agitator in the family? That's what we do with our conflict resolution training. And then we help family caregivers with budgeting. So there's a special workshop on helping a family caregiver create a budget. I've created tools that you can use to create your own programs, which is awesome. I don't want you to start from zero. I want you to start with what works. And then as you use what I've created, because I know it works, you can start to think through, okay, so what's my program that I want to develop? You don't have to end the program with that question, what am I going to develop? You end the program with what's already developed that works, that helps you then develop what you want to, and that you know will work because you've been figuring it out. We also have a community of consultants. We get together every month, and I have office hours every Friday, except if I'm traveling, and you can connect with me during office hours every week when you have a question or you're stuck or you just want to clarify something that you think, now what do I do? I'm there to support and help you. My assistant, Deanne, has office hours on a regular basis too, and she's there to support you as you work your way through the training material. She can help you with any technology. We use two different websites, so to speak. The Caregiving Years Training Academy website, but we also have a community, which is Caring Our Way. And the training material is available on both. And you actually have a choice which one you use. And Deanne can help you as you're moving your way through the modules. In 2025, our big focus is family emergency planning because things are changing all the time. And we want family caregivers to feel like they have a strategy to manage the changes. We first started doing family emergency planning in 2019. And our feedback on our family emergency planning session is that it is highly recommended from attendees to other family caregivers. Attendees to the planning session recommend this program, this family emergency planning session, to other family caregivers. And that's our big focus. Huge, huge. I've been talking to organizations, I've been doing outreach, and I hear when I suggest this, we need that. We need that. And I'd love to have you join us as we really focus on this. Just want to let you know that I do check in to make sure that the training program meets the needs of the training program participants. We've had nurses, social workers, physical therapists. We've also had former family caregivers complete the training. And something that I think is so important to know, your lived experience is enough for you to take the training program. I went through life coach training in 2004. I pull out what was most helpful for me in working with family caregivers and weave it into the consultant training. I also think it's interesting when we start to really look at what's my work in the world through my small business, we do feel inadequate. And that's really this first quote. I have been caregiving for over 15 years, yet being on this side, right? The side of having a small business where you're serving family caregivers, I felt inadequate. Now I'm more comfortable with what I know has value. And then just what I want to happen is what the first quote on this slide is about. The training sparked a lot of creativity in creating products and services for those I serve. That's what I want. I want you to see what I do, and then you think, ah, I get what I want to do. However, I want you to start with I know what works, and then build in your own. We have 3 levels of the Certified Caregiving Consultant training. We have the bronze level, and I think of this as someone who's already working with family caregivers might have already started a small business and just wants to add consulting services. The silver level provides more support, including marketing, and from our consultants that I call skills consultants. So they help with better understanding of the different skills that you use to effectively communicate with family caregivers. There's also additional support around the business side of it with tax planning, as well as being a resource navigator. And then the gold level is for those who really want to challenge yourself to become a master caregiving consultant. So the certification requires are more intense, more extensive, and you receive more support from me. And then we help you write a book and develop your CEU approved workshop. I do CEU workshops on a regular basis. A CEU workshop is a workshop that has been approved to provide continuing ed credits to nurses and social workers and other healthcare professionals. I've been working with my CEU provider since 2016, and it's been great. It's been great. So I help you do that. I help you develop a workshop, get approval for it through my CEU provider so that you can start delivering it in your community to nurses and social workers and other healthcare professionals. In the silver and gold, you also receive coaching support from me, and that's one-on-one. Okay, and so these programs have also been approved to provide CEUs, continuing ed credits. If you are a nurse or social worker, for instance, you can complete to the training program and receive CEUs. If you're a certified senior advisor, you can complete the program and earn continuing ed hours. If you're a certified dementia practitioner, you can complete the program and receive CEUs. And typically, a certification requires some kind of ongoing learning, which is a continuing education unit. For us, we do that as well. When you renew your consultant certification every 2 years, you also have to tell me what kind of learning that helped you completed. And the learning could be helping you in a small business, helping you with communication, offering insights into family caregivers, or insights into any of the 17 caregiving systems. Okay, so a couple things to know. Prices go up January 2nd. The reason it's January 2nd is because I had someone reach out to me who said, you know what, I want to enroll. I want to do it ASAP, but I also want it to be a deduction I can take on my 2025 taxes. So she's going to enroll January 1st. If you need an expense to deduct from your 2024 taxes, then you can enroll December 31st. So you get a choice. Where do you want to take this deduction, 2024 or 2025? So that's why prices go up January 2nd. Currently, The price point for the bronze is $2,000. The price point for the silver is $3,000, and the price point for the gold is $5,000. You can pay in full or you can pay over 3 monthly payments. Just for context, when I went through life coach training 20 years ago, I paid $5,000 for that program, which now is, I think it's $11,000 or $12,000. I want this to be meaningful for you. I want it to be valuable for you. I want it to be impactful for you. I want you to feel different at the end of this program. And part of that is an investment. When you invest time and money, you actually take care of that investment. And that's important. That's important. If I offered this for free, you would enroll and then kind of do it. It's most important that you invest time and money because you're going to pay attention to this, take care of this, and treat this as something that's really important because it is really important. If you do enroll before December, or actually on or before December 26th, you'll be able to join a 4-week group coaching course that I'm launching in March for consultants. I enrolled in a program this year to improve how I present. And I'm going to share lessons learned from this program with you in a 4-week group coaching course. And it's going to take place in March because I want you to complete the consultant training, and that's going to take you 2 months. January and February, you complete the consultant training. You join me in March for 4 weeks where we meet once a week so that you improve your presentations. I'll record those sessions, by the way, so if you can't join me live, you'll still be able to access the recording. I've been taking a course for presentations through Heroic, and that's led by Michael Port. You might be familiar with some of his books. One is Steal the Show, Book Yourself Solid. It started in July and I'll finish it up at the end of January. So it's a 6-month program. I attended a keynote during a workshop for human resource managers in the fall of 2023. And there was a keynote presenter that was going to talk about friendship in the workplace. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, friendship in the workplace. Seemed a little, I hate to say this, but to me, I was just like, that doesn't seem very deep. And then I went to the keynote and she was amazing, amazing. And I thought, I need to get to that level. And then a friend told me about Heroic. I went to a free 3-day training. And for the course of 3 days, we had a variety of presenters who never used a PowerPoint. And I thought, okay, I want that. This is an expensive course. I'm not going to tell you how expensive it is because you were just like, wow. However, it's how I invest in my own development and in your development. I attended a 3-day workshop through this course in November. One of the reasons they encourage you not to really get connected to a PowerPoint is because technology is going to stop working. And I also want to deliver a different experience where I don't rely on PowerPoint. The 3-day event was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. On Thursday morning, another consultant who lives in the area was open to organizing a morning of workshops for nurses and social workers in the area. So we presented for 3 hours, delivering 3 continuing ed units for social workers and nurses. It's a way for them to experience our work. We arrived at the venue, which has great technology, but guess what? The technology didn't work. It didn't work. We tried so hard and it wasn't going to work. We had people help and it wasn't going to work. And I thought, okay, I need to pivot. I need to deliver a workshop without a PowerPoint. I changed the agenda. I was going to use a workshop that I didn't know as well. I thought, well, I'm just going to switch that out with a workshop I know really well, which is the 6 caregiving stages. So I did it without a PowerPoint. I had to present a little longer because we have to do 50 minutes of learning for a CEU workshop. And the technology ran into some of the time, which just makes me crazy. So I had to present for about 65 minutes. I did it without a PowerPoint. And I also used some techniques I had just learned about movement across a stage. Afterward, one of the attendees came up and said to me, you know, when I sit in workshops, I'm in and out paying attention. I'm kind of paying attention, but then sometimes I'm not. She said, I never lost attention throughout that whole workshop. I paid attention throughout that whole workshop. And I thought, okay, this works. Yeah. Okay. So I'd love for you to join me and join our community of other certified caregiving consultants. Boy, do family caregivers need our support more than ever. Prices go up January 2nd, so you'd want to enroll on or before January 1st, because when you go back January 2nd, prices are going to be different. If you really want to learn more about how to present well, then enroll before or on December 26th, and then you'll be able to join me for the 4-week group coaching course. There's the link to enroll, but I'll also share the link in the show notes. And thank you so much. I hope these 3 tips were really helpful for you. There are 3 great questions you can ask yourself when you're thinking about how to help and serve family caregivers through your own small business. What will you change? How will you deliver the change? And who can help? And I'd love to be someone who helps you through our Certified Caregiving Consultant training program. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all you do. Looking forward to seeing you in our training program. Take care.